Hey everybody, it is Kary Oberbrunner. Welcome. So glad that you're with us right now. We have some fantastic people. This is the How to Become a Six-Figure Author 5-Day Challenge. We are in the midst of it. It's fantastic. This is day 4. I just want to welcome everybody. We have Donna and Karen, and we have Diane, and we have Mindy, and we have Lee. I love what Lee says here as we get started today. I'm here. I've been part of this wonderful event. I am simply computer challenged and could not find a way to check in my name. But now you're visible. Lee, you're in the right spot. I just bought some lights for my office here. This is actually a cool place that I'm filming from today. They didn't come yet. Otherwise, you'd see my face lit up, my bald head. But anyway, just hang with me today. And I'm going to do some Q&A, some master level Q&A all about how to become a six-figure author. And those of you who are part of this, you know, like, this is legit. Last night we had Derek jump on, who's one of our authors, and I'm going to share his story in just a moment. But first of all, I want to ask you guys to share this. I'm going to share this as well. Erica's sharing this. We just bumped up with a whole bunch more people. If you guys can share this, that would be fantastic. My passion is to ignite 1 million souls by 2020, and I can only do that as we have a big party here today. So if you guys can share that, go ahead, share that right now to your timeline, and invite some others to jump in. Tag somebody who needs to see it, and we'll have a fantastic time. If you do share it, type in the word shared, and Erica will give you a gift at the very end today that you'll absolutely love. It'll actually help you go quicker to your six-figure author journey. So I'm going to go jump over to my timeline as well, and I'm going to model what I'm telling you guys, and I'm going to do this too. I'm going to go share it to my timeline, and then we will jump in and rock and roll. So Erica, make sure you share a gift with me, all right, because I just shared it as well. All right, so here we go with some questions today. By the way, Donna says, good luck. We will be watching your comments. A lot of other people are jumping in. If you don't have audio, just refresh your screen, because I think a lot of you can hear me. If you can hear me, yep, Karen can hear me. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, let's jump right in here today. So here's the questions, and I'm going to answer the ones. A bunch of people wrote in with questions. I'm going to answer those first. And then if you want questions answered today, go ahead and type right in, and I'll make sure I can get to those with the 25 minutes we have left. So here's a question. It says, how can I sell my genre, which is short stories with a didactic twist? This is Anthony who asked this. How can I market my work without selling out and losing integrity? Look, I get it. When we first start out as authors, we kind of feel like, am I selling out if I have to talk about my book, or you know, I don't like sales and marketing. I don't like to be spammy. And so could I really make it as an author? Look, here's my deep advice for you. I get it. In the beginning, we kind of all are like, you know, we want to be false humble. We want to say, you know, gee, I wrote this book, but I hope people just grab it off the shelf. I never want to talk about my book. This is kind of what new authors say in the very beginning. And here's the point. I get it. I understand your heart. And here's my point. Get over it. Okay. Now, I'm being serious, but I also want to say that with grace. And here's why. If you truly believe that your book changes lives, if you truly believe that your book is going to help people alleviate pain or find more pleasure in their lives, you have to realize that your message is something that they need. I get it. In the beginning, I was like, oh, you know, I don't want to talk about this book because it's, you know, I wrote it and this type of thing. Here's the point. You didn't write it. God gave it to you. God gave you that message, and it's your responsibility to steward that gift. And if you're too embarrassed or you don't want to come off as spammy and salesy, don't. There's a way to market without coming across like that. A lot of people are on this webinar today, and I don't push people to buy my stuff. In fact, the last few days, people have been jumping in and saying, hey, Kary, I got your book. I got this. Look, it happens. Why? Because you make your Facebook and social media posts be about them, not you, not your book. Let me give you an example of something that works. You never say, and by the way, Laura says she likes that. Our responsibility is to steward the gift. Yeah, let me just Remind me in a second about a social media strategy, but let me give a point on that. I like the story about the parable of the talents, the story about the talents. And the master gives 5 talents to this one girl, and he gives 2 talents to this other girl, and then he gives 1 talent to this final girl, right? And the one with 5, and then the master goes away. The one with 5 crushes it. I mean, she goes out and she doubles the talents, and she makes it happen. The one with 2, same thing, man. She goes out believing that the master gave her a responsibility. She goes out and doubles it. And then the one with 1 is scared. The one with 1 is like, you know. By the way, Julie, refresh if it's frozen. It should work, all right? But the one with 1 says, you know what, I'm scared. I don't want to talk about my talent, you know, and I'm afraid. And they buried it. What happens when the master comes back? The master says, you made 5 and you got, you doubled it. Awesome. You're amazing. You got 2, you doubled it. Unbelievably, I'm so proud of you. The one with 1, he lit up. And he said, I can't believe you buried your talent. I could have at least taken your talent and put it in the bank and got interest. Here's the point. And he gave the 1 and gave it to the person with 10. He's like, forget it. I'm not giving you anything anymore. Here's the point. If you've been given a message and you are not maximizing that message, you're not stewarding that message, it is your own flaw. Don't blame God when your message doesn't go big, because he's like waiting up there. Like, I gave her or him everything they need. What's going on, right? Let me give you a social media strategy. And by the way, if you just joined, please share this. That would be fantastic. Type in the word shared. Erica will give you a gift as well. Why am I passionate about people sharing this? We are in a 6-figure author 5-day challenge. And folks, we started that 7 days ago. 7 days ago, we opened it. Erica, if you can share that link, that would be awesome. When we started that challenge, we had 0 people. Okay. Then we got 100. Then we got 300, right? And then we got 700. We are up to I think we're almost up to 3,000 people in the last 7 days who have jumped in the 5-day challenge. If you're part of that, type in the word 5-day challenge, all right? Because I've never seen anything like it. It's going crazy. And every day I'm in there, it's free. And every day I'm giving away training and value. And 3 nights ago, you met Melissa. You met Melissa, who's a beautiful African-American lady who just is making 6 figures. She's one of my authors, and she left her day job. She's in her dream job now, and she's speaking all over the country. Her book is called Courageous Living. And then you met Mary, who helps with nonprofits. And Mary's just making it happen in St. Louis, and her book is called Fundraising Freedom. And she's making it happen in crazy ways. Then you met Derek last night, and Derek is a guy who's still in his day job, but he's at 6 figures and he's got a family. And what he does is he wakes up from 5 to 7 a.m. And that's how he actually wrote his book, from 5 to 7 a.m. And his life is drastically different now. He just spoke at his alma mater, and he speaks all over the country with his book called Shift, How to Move from Frustrated to Fulfilled. So it's amazing. Tonight we have Linda from South Dakota. She's going to be on here, and actually we made a change. We are going to put Linda out for everybody to see. Okay, so our team met and we said, this is so cool, Linda's story and Jim's, and we wish we would have promoted Mary's and Melissa's and Derek's out to the world. We only kept it private for our little group, but if you want to see those replays, jump in the 5-day challenge. You will be so encouraged. Tanisha loved it as well. A ton of you guys loved it. There's the challenge to get in. Here's the social media strategy, by the way. You never tell people like, hey friends, I published a book. Hey everybody, you can get my book on Amazon. Hey everybody, go to Barnes & Noble and get my book. That sounds spammy. It's not cool. Here's a much better strategy. Think back to the day that you wanted to become an author. Maybe it was when you were in 2nd grade and you went to the library and you thought, wow, someday I could be in a library. And maybe in 2nd grade you had an idea for the first time ever being an author. Here's how you do a social media post. You grab a picture of you from 2nd grade and you say, something like this. Have you ever had a dream that you never thought would be possible? Question mark. All right. See, that's already not spammy. That's already bringing people in. And then you say, you know what? If so, I can relate. Back when I was in second grade, I had a dream that one day I would become a published author. Guess what? After decades of saying no to myself, I finally took a step. And I'm excited to say that in 3 months, my new book, whatever, will be coming out. By the way, this is a launch team strategy, okay? And then you say something like, those of you who are my friends, you know that you mean the world to me. I would be so honored if you want to follow me in this journey the next 3 months to jump in my launch team. In my launch team, I'll be sharing updates, and I'll also share about how I made this dream possible. So if you have a book inside you, you may want to follow along as well. Thanks so much, and remember, always say yes to what God has put inside your heart, period. Folks, that's it. That is a post that makes sense, and you'll get a ton of likes and shares. Here's why. You'll get a ton of people to jump in your launch team as well. Everybody has a second grade dream. What you've done is you've taken your story, but you've put it in a way that benefits others. And you also gave a teachable point, like always say yes to the dreams God has put in your heart. People find that valuable rather than, hey, everybody, I wrote my book. And everyone in their heart saying like, good for you. Guess what? My kids are sick today. You know, nobody asked me, right? And so this is the problem on social media. So many times you do what's called interruption marketing, where you interrupt someone's day with something they don't even want to hear. And this is not the case for you guys. We have a ton of people right now. Thank you so much for jumping in. You guys are leaning in. You want to learn this advice. You want to learn these tips, tools, and strategies. I didn't like show up on your feed if you didn't want me. And if so, you just click no, right? I'm all about what's called permission-based marketing. I get this from Seth Godin. It's called permission-based marketing. It means that just like you go at Costco or Sam's Club, and just like you're shopping and you have your own agenda in your own day, someone is nice in the corner and they're cooking this amazing sausage and it smells really good. And you're like, ooh, wow, somebody's cooking sausage. They're not like, hey, everybody who wants sausage. No, they're just quietly doing their sausage cooking. And suddenly you smell it and you start walking next to them. And the lady says, or the guy says, would you like some sausage? And you're like, yeah, I guess, right? I mean, you weren't planning on it, but it smells good. They've offered you some and you taste it and you're like, wow, this is good. And then they start talking to you and they say, this sausage is made from da-da-da-da-da. And maybe you don't want to know what it's made of. That's a joke. But anyway, they start telling you what the sausage is made of and they say, you know what? Today, if you buy a package, like we have a coupon and you get buy one, get one free. And would you like some? And then suddenly you're like, yeah, actually. And then your kids are around you or your friends or your nieces or your nephews and they try some. And suddenly you're having this moment, this experience, this unplanned marketing. And that's the marketing that works today. It's called the Jimmy Dean Sausage Strategy. And I teach this to all my authors. And if you want to learn these free tactics, jump in the free challenge. Once you jump in the free challenge, you will literally learn you will get 5 days of strategies from me. You will get to be part of a Facebook group for free that is filled with the best people on the planet. You will get a free bonus webinar and a free ebook as well about how to turn a book into 18 streams of income, all free. And people say to me all the time, they're like, that's crazy. Why would you share your 15-year career on this webinar that's going to be like pulling back the curtain and showing why, you know, people are not making money in publishing and how the very few minority are and what are they doing? What's their strategy? And you're going to show us 95% of what the industry publishing experts don't know. Why would you do that? Because here's the strategy. If you want to know the strategy is I want to give away a ton. And after you sample a ton, some of you will say, oh, that's cool. That's great. I learned a ton. Fantastic. And you'll walk away and you'll be like, you know, that was a nice guy. Others of you are going to say, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This guy absolutely knows what he's talking about. Why? Because I failed so many times. My first 3 books didn't do well. I kept my day job with my first 3 books, right? The first 8 years of my career, I only thought it was about books. And then I realized, no, your book is a piece of a larger business strategy, whether you're a nonfiction or fiction author. And I began to crack the code on all this stuff. And then what happened is in 2010, with Your Secret Name, we turned that book into 18 streams of income. And then we did that with The Deeper Path in 2012. And then we did it in 2014 with Day Job to Dream Job. And that was after I left my day job to do what I do full time now. And then we even did it with my fiction book called Elixir Project. And if you want to see that as an example, seriously, go to go to elixirproject.karyoberbrunner.com. Erica, if you can share that, that would be fantastic. Elixir Project. Oh, what is it? I forget, Erica. I think it's elixir.karyoberbrunner.com. I think that's it. elixir.karyoberbrunner.com. But you can see, like, we'll actually mail you the book for free. So we'll send you the book, and it's a hardcover book. It costs $30. We'll send it to you. I bought the book. We just ask that you cover for shipping and handling, right? And we'll ship it anywhere in the world. But that's just an example of how I took a fiction book and turned it into 18 streams of income. Let's get to our next question here. Our next question is, I am new. I started a book, but I'm not yet complete. I will need advice on finishing and what to do next. Absolutely. This is what we do with the webinar on Wednesday. On Wednesday, it's going to be amazing. It's 1 p.m. It's live. This is not recorded at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and it's like my masterclass webinar where over 60,000 people have watched it, and I am going to take you through the exact steps you need to do. And stay away. I'm going to tell you to stay away from certain people. I'm not going to name them, but I'm going to say stay away from the people who tell you this, because what they're really doing is they're trying to gamify the system, and it's artificial, and it will actually hurt your career. But then I'll say, go do this. And if you do this, you're actually going to save time and money, and you're actually going to propel your business a much faster, and you'll get into Barnes & Noble bookstores if you do it this way. So on Wednesday, if you like what you're hearing now, folks, tag somebody who needs to be in this. Erica, if you can share the link to the webinar. And actually, Erica, let's give people the gift right now. So if you can put the webinar link in, what it's also going to give you guys is a free ebook immediately. Like, you don't have to wait, all right? You have to wait like 30 seconds for the email to give you the ebook. But here's the point. That ebook is called How to Turn a Book into Six-Figure Business. And it's going to give you the 18 streams of income that I do for my last 4 books. So I take one book and I turn it into 18 streams of income. And then as a result, it creates six-figure business. And you might say, like, how fast? The fastest we've done it is 6 weeks. I mean, it's crazy. But then some of our authors, they take a little bit longer because they're just getting started. But it's fantastic. You're going to meet Linda tonight, who's actually going to get on, and the mystery author will be revealed, and we'll be talking side by side. And I'm just going to hand her the microphone and say, Linda, tell your story. And she's going to share, like, hey, I'm a mom, and this is what I was doing in life, and here's the system I followed, and here's the strategies and steps I took. And today she's making 6 figures from her book and related products from her book. And then tomorrow you're going to meet Jim. So we've had black, white, male, female, old, young, middle-aged people. I mean, it is any excuse that you have where you're like, and Derek said last night he got an ACT, an 11 on his ACT reading. So I had a learning disability. I used to struggle with self-injury and addiction to self-injury. So folks, whatever your excuse is, Karen says Derek is on fire, right? Misty's part of the 5-day challenge. She says she loves the speaker so far. Tanisha says that the strategy I just talked about with the Facebook is a good strategy for a launch team. And Tanisha's launching her book, right? So she's one of my students as well. James says, hey, good stuff. Laura says, I'm going to steal this. Fantastic. That's why I teach this stuff. Tanisha says, hey, it's all about permission-based marketing. Brenda says, I'm struggling with clarity, not just for my book, but for my overall mission. Will AAE help with that? Absolutely. Author Academy Elite will help that. But for some of you who need help this second, Deeper Path is what it's all about. That's one of my books, The Deeper Path. So I'm going to totally help you with clarity on Wednesday for the webinar. Make sure you register and grab your spot. We just called GoToWebinar and bought their highest level of seats because we sold out, seriously. So there's a ton of people who are going to be on. Grab your seats quick because we can't buy anymore from GoToWebinar. And those cost us money. This stuff is not free, but it's free for you. So I'm footing the bill for the ebook, the 5-day challenge, the Facebook ads, everything. Why? Because I want to see you a soul on fire. Erica, if you can give Brenda that free book, just type in deeperpath.karyoberbrunner.com. This is all memory, so I hope it's right. I think it's right. deeperpath.karyoberbrunner.com. That'll give you the free Deeper Path book. We just ask that you cover for shipping and handling. Fantastic. All right, let's get to some other questions. Debbie says, holy cow, the lights just went on. I've been doing this all wrong. This way makes so much more sense. Debbie, amazing. That fills my tank. Seriously, I'm a words of affirmation guy. If you think about the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, I mean, you could buy me a Corvette and say, here you go. And I'll be like, oh, thanks. But if you give me a compliment like that, that fills my tank for a month. So I'm so glad that you got the lights turned out and on, not out. And Debbie, I did it wrong for years too. And that's why I'm committed to help people. Why? Because Debbie, you got a great book in you. And so does everybody else on this webinar. They got a great book inside them. But if you don't know how to do it the right way, you're stacking the deck against you. You're saying, I'm going to put time and money and into this book process. And then you go to launch it and nothing happens. Why? Because you don't know the system that we teach. And again, don't believe me. Believe Melissa, Mary, Derek, Jim, Linda. Jump in the group. You'll see just dozens and dozens, and actually over 300 people have specifically followed this system. I've trained over 60,000 online through my webinar training. But again, the people who've actually put the system in place, those are my students, they're crushing it. Are you helping people publish their books with AAE? Absolutely. So you'll learn about that Wednesday. For those of you who want to learn, if you don't want to learn, that's fine. But if you want to learn about that, yeah, we take care of everything, okay? And I jump on. I just got off a phone call with my authors. I actually coach them. So it's me coaching them and also helping them publish their book, all that stuff. Let's talk about this. Any questions? Is this all about self-publishing with strategic marketing, or is there a way to get published with a real company? Because I haven't really learned anything yet. No offense. Willa, great question. All right, listen, I'm a 6-time traditionally published author. You're going to learn a lot on Wednesday about the traditional publishing world. Here's my point, Willa. Do you really want to get traditionally published? If you do, what you need to do is you need to get an agent. If you get an agent, they're going to take 15% of your contract. Are they worth it? Absolutely. Agents are amazing. Here's the problem. There are 100,000 authors for every one agent. And the agents say, oh, you want me to publish you? You want me to bring you to a traditional publisher? Willa, I'm going to tell you what the average author makes as an advance with a traditional publisher on Wednesday. I think you're going to be shocked, okay? Because here's the point. When you go with a traditional publisher, they're not bad people, they're nice people, but here's the point. They don't sign anybody unless they're convinced that you're going to sell a ton of books. How do you convince them that? With your platform. And so people have been locked into a world that says that I have to need to be a celebrity in order to convince an agent to work with me, and then my proposal can get in front of a traditional publisher because now it's no longer an unsolicited manuscript. Well, I'm going to teach you all this stuff on Wednesday. And at the end of the day, if you say, hey, I still want to go with traditional publishing, I'll say, great, here's the path you go. Good luck. I hope you can do it, right? And you will be on a very long path where actually most authors end up losing money. Now, I'm a 6-time traditionally published author, right? I'm not against traditional publishers. I think they're fantastic. I think they make sense for less than 1% of the population, and I can tell you about that on Wednesday. But the other 99% think that they have to go self-publishing. And the other 99% end up going with, most of the time, CreateSpace. CreateSpace is not bad. They're nice people, but if you go with CreateSpace, you will never be in a brick and mortar bookstore. You will never be in Barnes & Noble. Why? Because CreateSpace does not allow books to be returned, okay? You might say, what do you mean books returned? That's how brick and mortar bookstores protect themselves. So they don't just buy a ton of books and now they're stuck with them. They are allowed to be returned. Well, guess what? CreateSpace doesn't allow returns. So therefore, brick and mortar bookstores say, we aren't playing that game. And Jeff Bezos knows exactly that that's the strategy. He doesn't want everyone else to supply the books. He wants Amazon to supply the books. Folks, there's so much that I'm going to teach you on Wednesday. We're just getting started, okay? But Willa, if you haven't learned anything, I'm not going to say it's your fault, but I'm saying, you know what? Maybe it's my fault. Okay, I'll own that. Maybe you haven't just given it time yet. Maybe you haven't realized that Wednesday's bonus webinar is where I blow the curtain back on the two publishing worlds. And I say, here's the pros and cons, here's the pros and cons. And then I'm also going to share with you this crazy strategy, this unique publishing method, which is what I teach. And again, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to give it to you all and say, here you go. And then you are informed and you have choices. And that's my point. I don't think I can convince anyone to do anything, nor would I want to. I want you to be convinced in your own mind, but here's what I want. I want you to know all the options. So many people don't know all the options. So I hope that was helpful, Willa. If you want a free copy of Elixir Project, there you go, elixir.karyoberbrunner.com. Laura says that AAE is the best of both worlds. How much is the ebook? What are you talking about, Willa? What type of ebook? I'm not sure. Ebooks, if you're just asking a question in general, how much are ebooks? Ebooks are great for authors because that's where they make 70% of the royalties most of the time. But I'm going to just push back a little bit and say that somebody just asked the other day, hey, should I publish my book via an ebook? And I say it depends on your career. If you want to be known as a speaker, a trainer, and you want to be filling audiences, don't do an ebook. Why? Because you've never heard a speaker on stage say, thanks for being here today, folks. I'm glad I could be here. I'll be in the back signing your ebooks. Okay? No, there's a certain perception about ebooks that, again, if you're only into ebooks, you're basically leaving so much influence, impact, and income on the table. Audiobooks are actually the fastest growing publishing platform in existence today, right now. Why? Because everybody has a smartphone. It's an audiobook player, right? You might not know this, Willa, but authors, when they sell their books on Audible, the first person who buys their book, in other words, if someone wants an Audible subscription, which is free for the first 2 months, if they buy your book for their free book, guess what? You get an extra $50 bounty. Okay, Google this if you don't believe me. This is the stuff, Willa, that you're going to learn on Wednesday, stuff that nobody's talking about, that nobody really knows about. But yeah, you get a $50 bounty in addition to your book sales when people buy your book as the first book in their Audible subscription. So again, this is all strategy that I teach my authors in Author Academy Elite, and that's why they're maximizing, because they're basically given this secret playbook that they can then go into the world and implement and know, and that's why they're doing so much better than most people who really don't know what's going on. All right, let's keep going. We have a few more questions. Oh, the ebook. The ebook's free. I know what you're saying now. Stupid me, right? All right. No, I'm kidding. You said, how much is my ebook? My ebook's free. Go to the link in the notes here in the comments. Erica, if you could share that, yeah, I'm going to give that to you for free. How to turn a book into six-figure business. So sorry, sometimes I'm slow. If I have self-published my book, can I, with CreateSpace, can I pull my book from them and start with you? Absolutely, Misty. We get a ton of people who say, you know what, now that I know the system, now that I know what's actually happening, I want to turn my book into a six-figure business. Now I'm ready. Yeah, we can absolutely make those things possible. Connie says, I'm finally glad to be here today. Awesome. Karen says, I know what you are talking about. I can't wait to hear her talk. Oh, I know the Linda you're talking about. Yes, that is that Linda. That Linda tonight is going to be on. You got to be jumping the challenge to hear her. She is a real author. You will really see her book. You will really be able to Google her. She's one of my students, one of the many who's become a six-figure author. Absolutely. Laura says, Kary can help. Fantastic. The webinar will be recorded if you can't make it live. Arkita says, thank you, Arkita. This is such a kind comment. By the way, we have some people online who are haters, right? I mean, that's okay too. I love them too. But some people are like, oh, you know, this dude doesn't even know what he's talking about, and they haven't even clicked the link. Arkita, who I have never met, she says, hey, I'm part of the Six-Figure Author 5-Day Challenge, and I've learned so much so far. Thank you all. Awesome. That's our point, you know. Of course, you're going to get people on Facebook at times who are haters, who are like, you know, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about, and this and this and this. All I told that person, I just got off an email comment with them. I'm like, you know what? Don't trust me. Like, jump in the group, decide for yourself, listen to the authors, Google them, Google me. Folks, do all your research. I think you will be excited about the research that you find. I mean, again, I don't want to convince anyone of anything. Tanisha says, register for the webinar and you will get the replay. Awesome. Amber says, I can't wait to start. Iris says, I'm wondering how this thing works for fiction. Go to elixirprojectexperience.com, Ira, and you will see not my idea, not my theory, not what I think can happen. You will see how I took my fiction book and turned it into a six-figure business in 6 weeks, because I took the theme of the fiction book, which is about getting hacked, and then I turned it into a nonfiction principle about how to become unhackable in work and life. So go ahead, check that out. Brenda says, I read it last year. I will reread it again. Fantastic. Iris, or here's Laura. Here's one of my students. Don't listen to me. Listen to Laura. Laura says, it works for fiction. My fiction book launches October 3rd. It's not horror, though, and he can still help. So awesome. Karen says, I'm reading The Deeper Path right now. Fantastic. Here's the link for the free book. Rob, all the way from Paris, just shared it as well. Thank you, Rob. Awesome. Karen says, I agree. Can you explain how Author Academy Elite is different than self-publishing? Absolutely, Don, but we are at 12:03, and I promised 30 minutes. I'm going to go watch the eclipse with my wife. I got a date with my wife. We're watching the eclipse. How romantic is that? I don't know. But anyway, that's what Wednesday's webinar is. So folks, go ahead and jump in sign up for the live webinar. And here's why you want to jump in live. Because you will know more than 95% of the publishing industry experts, and you will be able to make informed decisions. Laura says, thank you, Laura. That's very kind. I don't have all the answers, but I will get them. That is true. I certainly don't know all the answers, but I am wired in a way, this little small bald head of mine, that says if I can't figure out an answer, I will absolutely figure it out. Thank you, Julie. Julie says, I've been there, done that, and Kary has the way. Awesome. Are any of your authors in an MLM2? I don't know. They might be. I don't know. That's not what I teach. So good question, Brenda. I'm not saying MLMs are good or bad, but I'm not part of an MLM, if that's what you're asking. Julie says a very long path is to go traditional. So there's the free copy of Deeper Path. I'm going to go super quick here. Oh, I'm part of the 5-day challenge. Do I have to sign up separately for Wednesday? No, you're automatically part of it, Kim. So you should be automatically part of it. If you're scared, if you're nervous about missing it, you could double sign up just to make sure, and that's fine as well. Well, folks, I had a fantastic time with you today, and it was a blast. I can't get to all the questions today because we're simply out of time, but thanks so much for joining in. If you know somebody who needs to see this, tag them, share it. I will do one public Q&A tomorrow as well in prep for the webinar, but tonight you're going to meet Linda. Tomorrow night you're going to meet Jim. Literal people who are crushing it, who are our students, who are out there. You can Google them, you can find them, you can look at their books, you can test the results. But I'm excited. I love it when people take action. And All right, here's our last thing. Karen says, I remember feeling like you, Willa. I knew a lot of what Kary teaches, but I wasn't able to bring all the pieces together with my first 2 books. Now that I signed up for AAE, I have the structure I need as well as tons of ways to implement the great ideas I had, but couldn't get it off the ground. Thank you, Karen. That is so kind. We got to go, guys. So thanks so much. I'll take care. I believe in you. Steward your message well. That's how we started today. Don't be the person who buries your talent out of fear. I want to be the one who helps you, and I will. See you very soon.